Okay, so for the record, I'll introduce myself briefly. My name is Geny Caloisi, and I live in the UK. I'm originally from Argentina. I am a yoga teacher and an Ayurveda practitioner, diet and lifestyle consultant, as well as therapist, which now with COVID, I haven't done much of, and I miss it so much, massage and all of that. Yes, my journey into Ayurveda started when I did my yoga teaching training in India in 2012. I had been doing yoga since my early 20s, and I knew a little bit about yoga, but it's such a amazing science that it unravels when you start looking at it. And when I was in India, one of the things that I liked the most was Ayurveda. And I didn't even know it, I didn't even know how to pronounce it. Ayurveda. I bet Shaina knows how to pronounce it. Yes. My other half call it says that you pronounce it like Ayurveda. Anyway, so yes, I started teaching yoga, and I was doing journalism, and when you're transitioning from one career to another, you do both, and then you see how you go. And then one day I just thought, well, this is it. Leaving journalism, I was writing about technology, audiovisual technology, so quite soulless. It's like, you've got a new telly, good. Who cares? But for a long time, it was good to be a technology journalist, especially as a girly. We women have lots of power, and we should use it. One of the things that Ayurveda always says is feel your best in terms of your clothing, your makeup, your jewelry, everything. There is in the Charaka Samhita, which is one of the Bibles of Ayurveda. I think it's volume 5, and I have it with a bookmark, because it gives you the license to shop. It says that you should have nice shoes, nice jewelry, nice perfumes and earrings. But this is not about just the looks. This is about feeling the best that you can feel. And I'm sure that some of you might identify with this thing of the lockdown, where you think, why would I even bother to get out of my pajamas? But what that brings is real Thomasic energy. So if you're not familiar with the energies, there are 3 types of energies: tamas, rajas, and sattva. And tamas and rajas are like opposite energies. Tamas is stagnant and heavy. Rajas is go, 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 go. Neither of them are good to have all the time. You need tamas to go to sleep. You need rajas to get things done. But the ideal will be to be in a sattvic place. A sattvic place is where you feel balanced, where you have a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of chili, and a little bit of sugar as well. You're able to keep going, to keep finding all of that balance. Today, this course that I'm doing is about yoga therapy and sleep, and all of the things that get you not to sleep, like being overstimulated or sleeping too much, or, those kind of things that will make you really heavy. And the funny thing is that I didn't know, but the course is based on the 3 types of the Ayurveda body types. So I am an interactive teacher. Unlike the rest of presenters, I am happy to be stopped and ask questions as they come up, because I am like that. So, you know, if I'm told, as I was today, just ask at the end. By the end, it's like, oh, I don't care. I can't even remember. Why was it relevant or whatever? So please feel free to open up your mics. Now, have you done your questionnaires? Thumbs up? Yes, no, yes? Okay. Can you open your mics and tell me, how did you score? Open your mics.
Yes. So I love this. Thank you so much. And I am, probably everybody knows this, but I'm Vata, 20 Vata and 7 Pitta.
20 Vata, 7 Pitta. Oh, okay. No Kapha.
2 Kapha.
2 Kapha. We need to ground you. All right. Who else would
go
like?
next. So every time I've taken an Ayurveda body type quiz, I've been like almost even between the 3. But this time it was 10 Vata, 14 Pitta, and 5 Kapha.
Okay, interesting. Anybody else?
Yeah.
If you haven't done it, don't worry. Berta, yes.
Last time I did this, am I on mute? Yeah. Last time I did this was when I was doing yoga teacher training with Charisma. So that was what, 2 years ago, something like that. And I think I thought of myself as a majority Pitta, but actually today I got more Vata than Pitta. I got 15 Vata, 13 Pitta, and this is a little worrying, 0 Kapha. So yeah. But very,
right.
very like even between the other 2. So I was surprised.
Very good. Khalifa? How do you pronounce your name?
Oh, it's Kelsifer. My name's Kelsey, but a lot of people call me Kelsifer.
Is that like Lucifer, like the devil?
It's actually from Howl's Moving Castle, the little fire demon that keeps everything running, Calcifer.
I love Calcifer. Go on.
Yeah, so I was fairly even across the board. I had 11 Vata, 10 Pitta, and 8 Kapha.
Very good, very good. Well, neither Vata, Pitta, or Kapha are necessarily better or worse. We should not put a label as good or bad. And we're used to it. And, you know, in general, we live in a dualistic world where it's like up and down, good and bad, black and white. We all have a little bit of everything. And what you had in this questionnaire is the reflection of your current situation, not your original body type. So you might have been born with a different type of combination. And now, because of what you do, because of your lifestyle, your circumstances, the stage of life that you're in, all of those things will influence what you're bringing to the equation, how you are manifesting the way that you are. One of the things I love the most about Ayurveda is that in Ayurveda, they don't talk about illnesses, they talk about imbalances. Before you get ill, you will have, there are 6 stages before you are ill. So you have 5 indications that you are coming out of balance. And the type of work that Charisma does with the cycle and all of that, observing those things are so important, because as women, this is our power. This is our absolute special power that men don't have. So being aware of those changes, being aware of how you feel where you fit in with that will make a huge, huge difference for your well-being. So hands up, who knows a little bit about Ayurveda? Okay, a little bit like that. Okay. Ayurveda means science of life. So a science of life is as old as life is. And if you have been doing yoga for a while and all of that, I share this with you, which is, I find it very endearing about Ayurveda. Ayurveda, if you read the books and you see the studies about Ayurveda, 5,000 years ago, they could tell you about the structure of the cell. They could tell you about conception. They could tell you about the tissues of the body. They could tell you about the whole integral human existence. Now, the question is, do you know how long we've had microscopes for? It's not 5,000 years. How did they know it? How did they find out? How has this science that is 5,000 years old applied today? You can believe it, you might not. If you are in your yoga path, you might experience some of it. They have the enlightenment through meditation. The Vedas, the wise men, have the enlightenment of how these things came to being through meditation. So they will just research, observe. They didn't cut bodies like, Michelangelo or anything like that, but there was operation. Ayurveda has operation. It has tools for operation. I don't know if in the US you have it, but in here in the Welcome Gallery, there was the Ayurveda Man, which was an exhibition, and they had all of these tools that they used to use for operations, for the woman pregnant, these like dolls that will show how that was, and these were like really, really old, a lot older than European cultures. So from Ayurveda comes all of the other alternative sciences. When Ayurveda was taken to China, it became Chinese medicine. And the elements are not exactly the same, but the principles are very similar. All of the channels in the body are related to the nadis. The nadis are part of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a sister science to yoga. So yoga is one of the tools that Ayurveda uses to bring us balance. So this is like a historical overview. The science is vast, and I could not say that I know everything about it. I can tell you that I'm only scratching the surface, but it's fascinating. And one of the most magical things for me about Ayurveda is that it tells you to use that power of observation. So svadhyaya in yoga is self-study. So when you study yourself, when you start noticing what you're doing, how it happens, all of that stuff will actually give you an insight that nobody else can tell you. Who can in this group tell me what the word doctor means? Anyone? No? Apart from somebody that makes a lot of money out of you being bad. Well, doctor, if you speak any Latin, comes from dosiere. A dossier is like a bunch of papers. Doctor means teacher, educator. Now, how many of you have gone to the doctor and learned anything apart from pop this pill, right? So this is the main difference between Western medicine and Ayurveda or Eastern medicine, that actually you are your doctor. You are the person that knows about yourself the most, you know, because I might come and say, oh, you must do this, you must do the other. But you might tell me, no, that doesn't feel good. Like, for instance, in yoga, you might have heard of some of the kriyas that we do, like cleansing the nostrils with salt water. Yeah. Now, it is a good practice with a little neti pot, but we have to remember that those practices were done in India, where it's hot all the time. If we live in a climate where it's cold and you do the nasya cleaning, the neti pot, you might get earache because the water stays stagnant on the sinuses, unless you do a lot of, you know, exhaling out. So these kind of things, guys, for me, is my message to everybody. Observe, don't do things blindly because somebody tells you, you know. In my yoga teaching training, I don't know you, Charisma, but we had to floss the nose, putting a thing through the nose and taking it out through the mouth. I tell you, I was like,
Okay, we did not have to do that. Hello.
But we did have to take cold showers, which never felt right for me, and I've never done it. I've never adopted it. You know,
Yeah.
That's true.
it doesn't. A cold shower just doesn't. It's the opposite of comforting for me, and I don't think I need that extra waking up that some people maybe need. You know, so yeah.
yes, and on that cold shower would be adequate in India, but not in this other climate. So there are a lot of things that can be taken and used. You know, Ayurveda, for instance, tells you to put oil everywhere, on every orifice, and I mean it. Every orifice that you have, the nose, the ears, the mouth, and other ones down there. But the reason for it is really quite interesting. Our cells are made out of plasma and fatty material. So if you have any kind of toxins in the body or anything that you want to release from the body, if you have a fat, you need either a detergent to take it out or another fat to wrap it around and make it slide out of your body. So in Ayurveda, yes, do you have a question?
I was wondering, do they speak about a certain kind of oil? Like, is there a certain kind of oil that they like to use in Ayurveda?
Absolutely, yes. Depending on your body type, you will have different oils recommended. And depending on the time of the year, you will have different oils recommended as well. Time of the year, type of feeling of your body, etc. For instance, coconut oil. We all know coconut oil, yeah? In its natural state, in the States and in the UK, is solid because it's too cold. Now, to spread oil into your skin, you need it to be melted. You need it to be warm. So you warm it up with your hands and you can put it, etc. But that oil is good for us in the summer or when your pitta is very high. Otherwise, in the winter, it's cooling. Coconut juice, coconut milk, coconut itself is a cooling drink. So you will use it when your fire is too high. In the winter, sesame seed oil, not roasted. We don't want you to smell like salad or Chinese food. Sesame seed oil, not roasted, just pure organic, is really good. Also sunflower oil, rapeseed oil. All of those are quite good for the winter. The summer, you will have coconut and olive oil. Olive oil is cooling. Yes, Berta.
Which oil is recommended for pregnancy? For pregnant,
Ooh.
I'm pregnant right now.
Amazing.
So I've been reading a lot about different oils that are recommended for pregnancy, and I can't seem to get a clear idea. Coconut oil, almond oil, argan oil, this other. So I don't know. Is there one that's recommended?
Well, the answer is you have to try it and see which one feels best for you. And it depends where you use it, right?
Mhm.
So maybe if you're using it for your belly to let the tissues expand softly and not get marks, then organ oil, you can use coconut oil. I mean,
Coconut wasn't moisturizing enough for me.
okay, there you go. I would say if you really want something really really nourishing, you can use a little bit of castor oil. And this, for all of you, if you suffer from premenstrual type of symptoms, having a castor oil pack is a really good thing to do. So the way that you do it is you put a bit of castor oil on either a piece of paper or a cloth, you warm it up on a pan, then you put it on your lower abdomen just a few days before your period, and put a hot water bottle on top to make it sip in. So that goes through the tissues. Hi,
I just
Kira.
want to say, sorry, were you finished talking?
No, go on, go on.
I just want to say, I think with castor oil, I did read somewhere, because I use castor oil quite often. I use almond oil as well. And I alternate, but it depends on what part of my body. But I just want to say with castor oil, I think there's something around that you shouldn't be using castor oil when you're pregnant, because it can induce, it can...
You cannot ingest it. That's what you cannot do.
Oh, okay. So you can't ingest it when you're pregnant, but you can still use it
on the skin. Yes, that's right.
Skin. But
yes.
Doesn't it still, because I would get constipated. I know more or less it's got to do with my hormones when I'm about to get my period. So I do get kind of constipated. So then I'll use a little bit of castor oil. I wouldn't ingest it, but I would use maybe castor oil and lavender oil to kind of relax, maybe some mint for that cooling effect. And that will help me go to the bathroom. But it's not, but I'm not ingesting it. I'm putting it on my belly though. Like, so.
Yeah, that's what a pack is. That's what a castor oil pack is. So castor oil is quite powerful. If you ingest it, you will poop a lot, a lot. So sometimes in pregnancy, you might have constipation. Castor oil is a scraping type of oil. So castor oil comes from a little seed, and it's a scraping type of oil, which will cleanse your guts and will cleanse everything else. You can also, castor oil doesn't taste of much. It's just the texture is quite, no, it's like it's a resin, really, castor oil. So it's quite thick. That's why you can use it for your eyelashes and all of that to nourish. I would say if you have issues with constipation, Takira, you are a typical Vata type. And I will go into the doshas. And this is one of the consequences of having constipation. So a little teaspoon of olive oil before going to bed is the solution. You just take a little olive oil, you drink it, then you have a warm tea, maybe chamomile or something like that, and it will help you to not only go to the toilet, and that's safe for pregnancy, Berta. I mean, I'm not an expert on pregnancy.
I'm having the opposite problem. I'm not having, most women have constipation during pregnancy, but I haven't had any constipation. I'm actually having a little bit of diarrhea.
Okay. So that means that your pitta is a bit too high. Okay. Your fire element is a bit too high. You might also.
I'm just joking. I'm like, tell me something I didn't know. Charisma. My fire energy.
Absolutely. That's it. That's the beauty of it. If I'm telling you things that you know that you have the tools. Mm-hmm. So aloe vera, mint tea, green vegetables, And all of those things that are cooling, also Sitali breath, breathing through your tongue, out through your nose, or Chandra breath, you know, inhaling left, exhaling right, inhaling left, exhaling right. So Ayurveda takes all of the approaches, not only herbs, but diet and lifestyle, yoga, pranayama, meditation, etc. So all of those are always welcome. So let me tell you.
Can I ask you, before we move on, is there a place for lotion? Like, we talk a lot about oils.
Yeah,
Is lotion acceptable?
No. Ayurveda says that you shouldn't put on your skin anything that you wouldn't put on your mouth. So not even baby oil, you know, put on the salad. Because is what you put on the skin, it gets ingested. A lot of the creams that we buy, I mean, there are some creams these days that are very natural, and they are quite expensive, but they are very good and nourishing, and that's okay. And in fact, some creams claim that you can eat them, you know. I'm not saying don't use cream or lotion or anything, but what happens with a lotion, the way that Ayurveda tells you to use the oils is to put them before having a shower or a bath. So you do a self body massage, you put it all over, and then you have a bath. And you use soap very little or not, you know, you use soap on areas that you need to cleanse, but in general, not too much because it's very abrasive. And then that should be enough to moisturize your body. You know, depending on what our lifestyle is and how you go, you might need more or less oil. You know, your hair might need more oil. If, what are you showing us, Sakira? Open the mic.
The thing is, this is my favorite topic, so I had no idea you're going to be talking about like skincare things because I love it so much. But I just wanted to get my castor thing quickly. But yeah, so it does say don't ingest while pregnant. So that, because it was bothering me and I needed to just see it on the bottle and kind of just share that with you. And then what I use, so I started doing natural skincare about 5, 6, 7 years ago. And now with the last 3 years, there's this amazing South African brand called Hey Gorgeous, and it's all natural stuff. So it's coconut oil, it's jojoba, it's all these almond things like that. But the texture is like cream. So it's like a cream texture. And I've been using it for like 2 or 3 years. Obviously, I've got nothing to do with them. I just really love like good products. And because I had an issue with using coconut oil, for example, so for example, I use it in the evenings, right? Because it absorbs. But then in the day, if I'm going to go out in the sun, I just don't want to be using oil on my skin. And so then I found this skincare, and I'm sure there is more natural wherever you guys are based, more skincare. But I just kind of want to share with you that it is possible to find a moisturized thing with a lot of with more natural stuff in it.
Put the name on the chat, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. And no, it's true. And in fact, in Ayurveda, it will sound a bit disgusting, but there is a type of cream that is called like 100 times ghee, and it's ghee mixed with water, and it becomes like cream. Ghee is purified butter, you know, it's clarified butter. So, and Berta, you put the oil before the shower because you want to have a little massage. So you put it on the skin, you have a self massage, connecting with what you feel, connecting with the joints and all of that. Then when you go into the shower, the heat from the shower will open the pores and it will go in. So that's why, yeah.
Would you dry brush before putting the oil on?
You can, yes. Dry brushing is a really good practice, but it depends whether you need to do it or not. I mean, dry brushing is good to bring the lymphatic system into action, bringing everything to the heart. Remember that the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. So this is why you have to go to Charisma's yoga classes, because the lymphatic system only works with movement. If you don't move, you are stagnant. Your lymphatic system, unlike the vascular system, the heart pumps, lymphatic system stays stagnant if you don't move. Charisma, I don't know if we will have any time to do yoga though, because I haven't even, are we okay with just chatting?
We can do some just chatting, but also give us the most information that you can. And I loved what you said about also the drishti during yoga for your body type. I thought that was really great because they can take that to any class, even to my class.
Yes.
And so if you could share, I thought that was really great. And any
so what I was thinking about doing, guys, was to talk about the doshas, the elements, and then do a bit of yoga practice. But I don't want to take all of your time. Go on, Berta.
I would like to hear what foods are appropriate and not for each body type.
Okay, that's a big subject.
Maybe you could do a dosha overview.
Yes, I will give you a quick doshas overview, also to make sense of what we were talking about. Okay, and then you will get the concepts, and then, you know, if you wanted a more in-depth chat about your particular things, we can talk one-on-one. Charisma has my details, so that's it. So in Ayurveda, we believe that there are 5 elements, and the whole of the universe is made out of these 5 elements. These 5 elements are space, air as air in movement, fire, water, and earth. I just got distracted by what Berta was doing, which is absolutely perfect. I don't know if you know about this, but what you just did is so good. She drank water like this. Now, why is that good? Because you are putting the enzymes of your saliva in the water, which means that your body digests it more. So if you just drink cold water, you'll pee very quick. You'll go to the toilet, you know, just think champagne or, you know, any of those things, cold drinks that you drink and it goes out. If instead you swish it through your mouth, then you get more of that hydration. So well done. You didn't know, but you did it.
I usually do it to warm it up because I don't like, I want the water to be at my body temperature before I.
That's perfect, perfect. And in fact, in Ayurveda, they always recommend to drink warm water. So not either room temperature or warm. Why warm water? Because the molecules of water start expanding. And by doing that, the body can assimilate it better. Anyway, going back to the 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth, in that order, because that's the order they existed. First, there was space, because space is pure potentiality. Then, because there is space, started being movement. And movement is air. That's the vata. Vata is space and air together. That's the archetype or the body type. Then movement, like when you do in your camping, you rub 2 sticks. What does it produce? That movement produces fire. And from the fire, you get condensation. That heat produces condensation, and that creates water. And the water when it stagnates, when it's together for a long time, becomes earth. So those are the 5 elements. And because of the characteristics of these elements, you will see the characteristics on the body that will be reflected. So we have Vata, which is air and space, Pitta, which is fire and a little bit of water, and Kapha, which is water and earth. Yeah. So all of these things are in everything and in everyone, objects, animals, plants, and people in different proportions. So we all have all of it. We just need to sometimes balance out things that we might have different, that we might be lacking of. So Berta, for instance, needs to bring qualities of coolness, walks in nature, green smoothies, green cooked vegetables, especially during pregnancy, things that are easy to digest. So, yeah.
I was gonna say that I love salads and I love raw vegetables, but I've been having a hard time digesting.
Yeah. No, you can't, especially not in the winter. You need to, but have cooked salads. You can very easily have some runner beans and some broccoli and steam it. Bit of olive oil, a bit of lemon. Beautiful, beautiful. Have those kind of things that they are really heartwarming, but also pleasing to the palate. And if you like salads, because of the fact that it's salad, at least to your side, you put it in a bowl. You can put some cooked peppers, red peppers, and that will look like a salad. Because Ayurveda always acknowledges the fact that we are mental beings, not mental, but we have a psyche. We have a psyche, and pleasing the senses is really important, really, really important. So if I was to come and say, oh no, just eat half an apple a day and whatever, your existence will be so miserable. And neither yoga nor Ayurveda wants you to be miserable. We are here to be happy. We are here to be thriving. We are here to be, up there, not down here. So we need to find those things that makes us feel nice. If you like eating salads, but the raw materials are not agreeing with your body right now, make it look like a salad, but let it be cooked. So those kind of things are important. The way that you balance yourselves in Ayurveda is by bringing the opposite quality to the elements that are lacking or that you have too much of. So if you have too much air and space, like here, then you need a little bit of fire. You probably have cold hands, cold feet, yeah? Constipation, you already said that. All of those things are part of the Vata dosha. So you need to bring more unctuousness. You need to bring, I don't know if you eat any ghee or things like that are good fats. Bring those good fats. Ghee.
I love fats. I love oils and I love all the fats.
Do you eat them?
I do eat them, but I like all food. I love everything. I will eat everything. So, but the issue is that I have an Ayurveda cooking book, but I haven't gotten to a part of letting go of meat, of chicken, because I get so hungry. I'm just hungry all the time.
You don't have to. You don't have to let go of meat or chicken. You don't. I mean, somebody like me, I'm Argentinian. In this incarnation, I'm not going to give up meat. I was saying that to Charisma. Maybe in my next incarnation, but in this one, It's not going to happen. And I am a very fiery type. So I should go, you know, the way that I'm advising Berta to go, more greens, whatever, and not red meat, not red wine, not, but I kind of like it. The red wine, I had to completely let it go. But the red meat, sometimes I have it. And because I do a lot of exercises, I also need proteins. So what you're talking about, Takira, is to keep your protein up. And proteins are super important, guys. If you are vegetarian, you know, Charisma can tell us how many chickpeas do you need to consume? Yes. And poor Rob, I mean, too many chickpeas.
And lentils and black
And
beans.
lentils. So do you know how to, so Vata is air and space, and because of being air and space, is related to all the values, all the movements in the body, the movement of the breath in and out, the movement downwards for digestion and out for disposing of whatever, the movements around. And the seat of Vata is the lower abdomen. This is why when you eat too many chickpeas and lentils, you get gas there. One way to stop getting all of that gas is to use herbs. So you use herbs like coriander, fennel, turmeric. All of those things will help you to digest. Things that produce gas is because they have pumpkin seeds, have more protein. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Diane. It's good to know that you're listening. So those kind of things. So in order to have enough protein from vegetables, you need to eat a greater quantity. So, you know, maybe one chicken breast will give you the equivalent of a bowl of chickpeas or something like that. So bear that in mind, because, you know, a lot of times we might think, oh, I eat healthily. Why does this happen? Why does this other thing happen? And the thing is that things that we might think that is everything else, I eat chicken. Okay. Things that we might feel that are good because the media tell us are good. They're not always good necessarily for all of us. So brown rice, yeah? Is brown rice good or bad? So brown rice is good because it has fiber. So it will let any things that might be stuck on the guts go. But if you have too much fire on your body, it produces friction. So it will rise the fire element and it will give you more diarrhea. That's it. Fruit. Are they good? Yes? No? Yes. Fruits are good. Pardon?
It depends also.
It depends.
Sugar.
Yeah, fruits are good, but fruit in Ayurveda we say eat it alone or leave it alone. Not mix with any dairy products because that attacks the skin. Not mix with anything else. So if you're having fruit, you have fruit. If you want to have cereal with yogurt, you have cereal with yogurt, no fruit in it. If you want to have some sort of like sweetness in your cereal, then you use dry fruit like, you know, raisins or almonds and things like that. All of the nuts are better if you are having them for nourishment. Berta, this is for you. Put almonds, 5 almonds every night. You put them in water. The following morning, you peel the skin and you eat it. And they taste like coconut. And they're very, very nourishing. Very nourishing. Yeah. So all of the nuts, and now that we're coming into the spring, also the pulses, you can sprout. You can sprout the almonds and all of that, and that activates the thing. So let me go back to the doshas. So we have Vata. Pitta is fire and a little bit of water. Because of the elements that it has, is hot, is focused, is a little bit oily sometimes. And it's, people that are of a Pitta disposition, if they are balanced, they will have a very good focused mind. There will be leaders, there will be, people that get things done. If they have too much of that element, they will get tension, headaches, diarrhea, anger, jealousy, overstress, lack of sleep from midnight. So that's another thing. The different times of day are also Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and the different types of times in life are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Your period has Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So Kapha is the element of water and earth. Because of these two elements, is heavy, is stable. Kapha, a lot of people go like, oh, I don't want Kapha in me. Kapha is awesome because Kapha is resilience, is everything in our bodies that is solid, like the muscles are Kapha. The bones are Vata because they are porous and they are light. And well, all the movements inside the body is Vata as well. And Pitta is everything that is transformation. So where do you have transformation in your body? Come on, anyone? Where do you get daily chemical?
Gut.
And very good. But first, before the gut, stomach.
Yeah.
The stomach. You get all of those fiery juices, all of those enzymes that break down the food and transform food into nourishment, food into you. You become the apple, you become what you eat. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So a person that has a Vata predominant will be slim, talk a lot, move the eyes a lot, be very good with people, very enthusiastic, creative, all of those things. But too much of that Vata, look, Thakira says, yeah, that's me. Too much of that Vata, and you will suffer from constipation, anxiety. It can be also depression, but from anxiety, lack of falling asleep and staying asleep, tossing and turning. All of those things will happen when there is too much Vata. So in order to lower that Vata, and here comes how you can apply it to your yoga practice, you need grounding. So if you are doing yoga, the position of your drishti, of your eyes, will determine what you're activating. If you're looking down, you can do it right now. Look down and breathe. And immediately, this is a mindful, connected type of action. Yeah. Now do the opposite. Look up. Look up and breathe. And you might feel that your breath is even maybe a little bit shorter. And maybe you feel that you have to inhale deeper if you're looking up. And then come back to center. So looking up is a stimulant type of drishti. When you're doing a sun salutation, yeah, very good. Sun salutation is the objective is to rise the temperature of the body. In traditional Ashtanga yoga, you're not allowed to drink water during your practice. No, You know, all of these habits that we have, no, because what you want is to raise the temperature of the body, because a hot body will kill all invaders, all like bugs and all of that. This is why you develop a fever if you get a cold, because it's trying to kill the invader. So some salutations, you normally go looking up, looking up, looking up, right? Up dog, looking up, hands up, looking up, because what you want is to raise that temperature. But that is not always good, and that's not always what we need. So you could raise your arms, but keep your gaze down. Try it. So this is for Vata. For Kapha, which is a heavy and stagnant type of dosha, so a person that has too much Kapha will have a very good, peaceful, stable disposition. Is this friend that will always wait for you, always with a smile, big eyes, big teeth, probably luscious curly hair, might have a tendency to put on weight, might have a tendency to be a little bit greedy, a little bit too sleepy, a little bit too lazy. So that's when the Kapha goes in excess and you get all of that. So the times of the day in the morning from about 7 a.m. until 11 a.m. is a Kapha time of the day. This is the best time of the day for you to exercise, because you need to kick Kapha in the bottom. Kick it up, get it going. And that's when you do all of that more energetic type of exercises. The Pitta time of the day is midday, and that's where your biggest meal should be, because this is the time where you can digest everything. And the Kapha time and the Vata time of the day is before sunrise, so from about 4 a.m. until 6:30, 7 a.m. That's the best time to meditate, to be, you know, with the elevated part of you. And the same happens in the afternoon from about 4 p.m. So I bet you can all remember when you were at school or doing things, or at work, you know, in an office, from 3:30 to 4, that's it. The day is over. You can't concentrate. You need, you know, people chat and and it starts dispersing. So that's the natural thing to do. At that time, you should finish your work, and then comes the Kapha part of the day in the evening. After Vata comes Kapha. And that's why dinner and breakfast in Ayurveda are recommended to be light. So lunch, strong, heavy, whatever you want. Breakfast, if you're not hungry, don't eat. Anytime, if you're not hungry, don't eat. Not when you're pregnant. When you're pregnant, you know, eat a lot because you have another mouth to feed. But, and same with water. We are in a culture where it's like 2 liters, 3 liters of water. Why? Are you thirsty? If you are not thirsty, you don't need to drink. It's better to have, you know, a cup of warm tea that you swish it around your mouth and you get the nourishment from it, rather than drinking, because you might get an edema. You might get, there is such a thing in Ayurveda as water fast. I bet you never heard of that. I never heard of that before Ayurveda. So if you drink too much water, you might get too much liquid in your tissues, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. Or you might wash away everything that you eat, so you don't assimilate. You know, everything in moderation. So Ayurveda recommends TLC, and this is not tender love and care. It's therapeutic lifestyle changes. And these therapeutic lifestyle changes are based on what you feel that is good for you but from the inside, you know. This is what you will learn with Charisma, with yoga, how to tune into what really is happening, what really you are feeling, what sensorial stimuli you have, etc. And I could talk to you for hours about this because and I'm happy to come back at some point and answer more questions and whatever. But what you had on your questionnaires, if you haven't done it, do it, or do it again, thinking about, okay, what's my situation right now? How do I feel right now? How can I bring the opposite qualities to what I have? If I feel too scattered, too light, then bring grounding. Root vegetables, pumpkins, things like that, everything cooked. If I feel too fiery, then bring greens, bring coolness, bring things that will calm the mind. People that are of a Pitta type think that they can really take over everything. Best holidays for a Pitta type would be in the mountains because it's cooling, and it's also that thing that is bigger than you. You know, it's like, all right, all right. Kapha people are too stagnant, too like low, so they need stimulation, they need constant activation, and you know, getting interesting things is very important. And you might say, well, but I'm like that in my mind, but different in my body. And this is true because your mind dosha might be different to your body dosha. So your mind body type or your mind type might be different to what your body type reflects today or is. So that is a thing to bear in mind. And always, I would say, first go with the mind. Fix the mind through breathing, through meditation and all of that, and the body will accompany it. If you just try to, in the West, we focus too much on yoga asanas, you know, exercises, movements and all of that. And that is only part of it, you know, it's one leg of the stool. And you have the other legs that you need, otherwise you fall over. And if you can't do anything else, do breathing. That's your yoga. All right, questions, my dears.
I'm going to jump right in because you said that to bring in, for example, to bring in more kapha for us fiery types to do some greens and cooling things.
No, that's for Pitta.
That's for Pitta.
Greens and cooling things to bring the fire down, to bring the vata down, grounding stuff like eating root vegetables and doing grounding asanas. So if your fire or your air and space are too high, it will be better to do a kind of yin yoga class or a hatha class, a more grounding one. If your kapha is high, if you feel very stagnant, then do an Ashtanga yoga class, you know, a stronger class.
What do we eat to stimulate the kapha?
You need hot, spicy stuff. So kapha is heavy and it's water. So you need to bring a little bit of warmth with like chili or ginger and things like that. And eat less. If you have too much kapha, you need to, you know, if you eat cookies, because that's heavy. You need to eat things that are light and they are fiery. If you have too much vata, don't eat popcorn because it's just air. So those kind of things. Anything else? Using spices is really, really key today I had this email from a new guy that is going to come to one of my classes, and he said, oh yeah, I came across Ayurveda, and I was in a relationship with an Indian lady, and she told me all about, this body and soul, and I've been crashing cumin or coriander seeds, I think he said, for a year or something. So yes, all of that. And then he made a beautiful mistake. I don't know, he might be a little bit dyslexic, but he said, and sometimes I feel a bit of a twinge going from down dog to up God instead of up dog. And I thought, I like the up God. Let's do up God. That's what happens when you have a marriage between a philosopher and an atheist person. You get a child that is all day wondering about the existence of dog, a dyslexic and an atheist. Sorry, I just translated it from Spanish. It sounds better in Spanish. Anyway, I hope that was useful, and I hope you get the principles of it. It's like a really, and I'm sure you will have questions. Charisma, give them my email, my website. My website is cheyoga.co.uk, CHE, like Che Guevara.
Can you type it into the chat?
I
That would be
can.
so wonderful.
I can.
And I will also feel free to reach out to me. Geny does also consultations and anything like that. And any questions that y'all might have that come up, just like email me and I'll just forward them to her. Absolutely. Any last minute questions before we all go into our Sundays?
I'm wondering, and thank you, Geny, so much. This has been so cool and so interesting and so helpful. I'm wondering if any book comes to mind that you would recommend for just beginners.
Yes. Vasant Lad, Dr. Vasant Lad has been the most prolific writer in Ayurveda, and he has introduction to Ayurveda. Is quite clear, is quite good. And I would say these days there is so much online as well. If you just wanted to dip your toes into it, maybe watch, even Dr. Vasant Lad has some training videos. Well, the videos maybe are a little bit more profound, but yes, there is a lot of content around. The book Introduction to Ayurveda by Dr. Vasant Lad is...
How do I spell his name? What is...
Vasant Lad.
Ah, yes.
I put it on the... Okay. Dr. Vasant. And does any of you like listening to books? Yeah. There is one which is... I love the way that he explains things. Is in Audible. There aren't many books on Ayurveda in Audible. There is one from Dr. Vasant Lad in Audible, and this other one, I think is called Shuksha, the doctor, and it's also an introduction to Ayurveda. Ayurvedic Wellness by Shulas Karishkara. I put it in, let me see. I'll have to put my glasses on. Okay, please. Ah, very good. That's good. Yes, Idiot's Guide to Ayurveda. Perfect. She has... That's the name of the author, and the book is called Oh, Sahara Rose. Yes, I know Sahara Rose.
Yeah.
She has a lot of, she has the Enlightenment podcast as well. And she's launched a book on Dharma. She's a young girl, a
I have
millennial.
one more question. I had it written down way in the beginning. You said that there are 5 signs of disease that we should look out for. Can you just say them? Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
No, I can't. It would be too long. Sorry.
Gotcha.
It's 6 stages, and the stages is just understand it like this. Is like when you start getting out of balance. So you might get a cold. Suppose that you get the flu, right? The flu is 6. You already got it. But you would have had sore throat, runny nose. You would have had, a bit of temperature. You would have felt a bit under the weather. If you caught it here, if you caught it at the beginning by doing a bit of salt water washes and taking turmeric or echinacea or any of these things to boost your immune system, then you don't get to the flu. You stop it here. But if you don't pay attention, then you get to the flu. If you might have hemorrhoids, but the hemorrhoids start before, a long time before, when you are worrying too much, when you're eating too many hot things, maybe through pregnancy, whatever it is. So it's preempting, observing, preempting, and taking action to resolve it. Because if you don't, you will have the consequence. The consequence will be falling ill.
So what if you get stuck on one of the first couple stages? I have allergies and just a runny nose all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I know that's not I think I am in imbalance because of that, but it's it never really progresses to something worse because I, try to take care of myself.
A runny nose will be a Kapha excess because it's water. Yeah. So you could try, obviously, if you have an Ayurveda specialist nearby, go and see them. You could try adding a bit of black pepper on your drinks, like in a cup of hot water with lemon and honey. Add a bit of honey is also cuts also the mucus. So a pinch of pepper will open up the nostrils. The honey will cut the mucus. But yes, it will be an imbalance on your sinuses. So you could try the cleansing of the nose. It's not that you're stuck. You probably haven't taken action consistently. Because that's the other thing. You can, like my nephew in Argentina went to say, oh yeah, I eat fruit. I ate an apple once. It's not enough. It's not enough. You have to do it every day. You have to do it all the time and observe what the consequence of what you're doing is. So try that, see if that solves it, massage it as well. Remember that if it's all around here, will also be connected with your lymphatic system, which runs around here on the neck, and you can drain it by massaging it. So that's also very good.
Thank you so much.
I have one quick little just observation to share. So basically, sure, the way that I'm born Muslim, I was born Muslim, and I've got Indian family somewhere there, but I'm very mixed South African. But I'm doing this yoga and I'm at Right, and I'm in between all these spaces, but essentially those are just modalities. Your energy just goes through whatever you're doing. So I don't identify as one thing, but so I observe a lot of my own how I feel, and I've always been like that. And I feel surely the chakra system, surely there's a connection, right? Because it's not just a physical, if you're talking about your sinuses, for me, I'm immediately thinking, what is repressed inside of you that you're not, I don't know, for me, intuitively, I'm picking up it's your throat chakra, something to do with your throat chakra and you not expressing something. So like when you were talking about, oh, maybe I'm Vata, I did like this test like a while ago, but surely I don't know, from what I'm picking up, there has to be a link between, because of my solar plexus, and people have always told me I'm very fiery and like I talk too much, and it's like, dude, I'm a communicator, so shut up. But it's like I will get angry. I also have anger issues. Like sorry?
It's a good Vata profession, being a communicator.
Yeah. So there's like there has to, like, surely there's a connection, but the thing is that I'm learning the language, I suppose, the ancient the literature and the science behind it. But before that, I was kind of living very intuitively. So when you were talking about the times that a person is awake, and so when I was a child, I would like sleep as soon as I come home. I sleep in the afternoon. And then I think as a result of that, just in the evenings, I'm the most awake. So when you were saying 4 a.m. or whatever, it's like you're the most clear. So that's literally something I still struggle with now that I'm trying to work on my own entrepreneurship journey. So I'm at home and I still find myself like I can't like focus during the day, and I have the most energy in the morning. I can't focus during the day, or there's just so much distractions, or I can feel people around me all the time. I can feel their needs and stuff. And then as soon as it's late in the evening, I feel clear, I feel amazing, I feel like I can study. So I just thought it's very like how you were kind of putting the names Vata, Pitta, and all these things to the kind of descriptions was kind of very interesting, because I identify with certain parts of them, but I just don't know the word, like the scientific wording to it. Yes, if that makes sense.
Yes. So everything that you're saying makes sense. And for the little that I know you, the little that you shared, is probably that you get more inspired on the Kapha time of day because you are grounded. So because you are a very creative and up here person, you need that heaviness and the slowness of the metabolism in order to have clarity. Otherwise your head is full of noise and you feel people and you feel all these things that are up here. So there are ways that you can ground yourself without just having to come to that time of day. And in Ayurveda, we work with the 5 koshas, you know, the Annamaya kosha, so the food body, the breath body, the mind body, all of that is part of it. With all the chakras as well, we work with mantra. So it's super multifaceted. I could tell you that in Ayurveda Anatomy, we are composed of 7 tissues. And these 7 tissues are the plasma, blood, the fat tissue, the muscle tissue, the nervous system tissue, and the reproductive tissue. I'm missing one. Rasa, Mansa. I'm missing one, but it will come to me. So the reproductive tissue is the most profound one. So Berta is going through a transformation on that tissue that is so deep and is the essence of us, you know, the reproductive tissue. So whatever you want to influence on your body to go to that area, which is Charisma's objective, will take at least 60 to 70 days to take effect. Whilst if you want to influence your plasma or your blood, the plasma takes 6 days. So whatever you drink and all of that, you nourish your tissue, your plasma tissue very quickly. The blood tissue, you know, when you need more red cells and stuff like that, it takes 12 days or so. I love the fat tissue, because the fat tissue is the third one. And it takes about 15 to 20 days to be formed, to come into effect. And that you can always see when you go on holidays. You go on holidays for 2 weeks, you ate everything, you drank everything, and you come back and you think, look at me, I'm the same. 2 weeks later, that's how it happens.
I've been there, definitely.
That's how it happens. So yes, Sakira, the chakras influence. Chakras are formed at different times in our life. So, you know, the first one is the root chakra, your essential needs, and then you come into your sacrum chakra with more connection with others, centrality and all of that. But as a baby, it's just connection. And then your solar plexus chakra, when you get to teenage years and you're driven and you have all your hormonal changes, and it's the element of fire. If you think about it, you know, it correlates. The root chakra is earth. The sacrum chakra is water. The solar plexus is fire. Then you have air, fire, air, space. So air, the heart, is related to the sense of touch. And this is why the loving touch is part of your heart chakra, and it nourishes that. I could talk here about how to use essential oils for each of your chakras, how to use your sensorial organs. You know, if you want to stimulate your root chakra, you get smelling, because the smell is related to the earth element and to the root chakra. If you want to stimulate your sacrum chakra, get tasting, because in the mouth you have water, and you have the creativity of water and that sensuality of flavor. If you want to stimulate your solar plexus chakra, then you get moving, you get going. Heart chakra, the solar plexus is related to the sense of sight, because without light you can't see. So you get looking at things. That's why in meditation sometimes we look at images that inspire us, or we look at flames, or we have that connection. Touch, and here you get chanting. And I know that Charisma does quite a bit of that. So to balance your throat chakra, you get chanting. You visualize colors. Oh, there is so much, girls. There is so much. This is so rich.
You will have to come back, Geny. You will have to come back. And I hope this is going to inspire you to start your online course, because there's so much here, and I would love to hear so much more. I wouldn't mind coming back with you every week for an hour. So just throwing that out there. I would love if everybody could give Geny some twinkle fingers or any kind of movement so she sees you. You can blow her kisses. Mwah, mwah. My sister.
Do it again. 1, 2, 3. Oh. That's it. I took a screenshot.
Good job.
Yes,
this was our first workshop, so thank you.
Thank you so much, my dears. And let's do a little 3 ohms and shanties to conclude.
Let's do it, Geny. Lead us.
We always start Ayurveda as well with some mantra chanting, but we were so high up on energies. So you can repeat with me or just chant it internally. Inhale to begin. Inhale. Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Bring your palms together. Rub your palms. Make the movement a little faster, generating prana between your hands, and place your palms over your face. Inhale deeply. Open your eyes to the darkness of your hands and slide your hands to your chest. Slide your hands into Namaste. Namaste, everybody. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. Well done. Thank you for inviting me, Charisma. You told me they were awesome girls, and you were right.
I don't lie. I don't lie. They're awesome.
Fabulous.
Well, thank you. I know it's evening time where you are, so
it
get
is.
out of here. Everybody have a beautiful Saturday.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Thank you to all of you for coming.
Thank you both so
See you
much.
soon.
You all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye. Ciao. Good having you here.